been a long time since we've seen each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, close to about 20 years.
Close to that.
Since we've actually sat down. So, I mean, what have you been doing for the last 2 years? I mean, I just mentioned the artwork, but what other things?
I'm doing 3 things: artwork, taco making, and bartending. Not necessarily in that order.
Uh-huh. They sent me an article that was actually done in one of the local newspapers about the stuff that you do. And how did that come about? How did they come to find you to know about your artwork?
I was doing gallery work. Every 3 months they'd have a huge party, and I was bartending to get free wall space because they charge for the wall space. So I get to show my art every 3 months for free and sell and keep everything I sold for about 3 years. And I would bartend, and it was a great time. And that sadly now is gone. It was the gallery at the end of the world, and it got me. They had featured artists every month, and I got to be a featured artist that last
did
time.
you really?
Yeah, it was amazing.
And that's when the newspaper article came in?
It was a great. I got to do the card that went out to like thousands of people, and then the newspaper would always interview somebody.
Pretty interesting.
It was perfect. It was great.
Okay, so Deb, why Day of the Dead art?
I've always had a fascination with death and more of a just scared part of it, more, but then I researched it a little more, and I found out that it was in Mexico. They celebrate death, but not to scare you, to make you kind of look forward, not forward to it, but just so you won't be scared. Just celebrate life. And in the end, you celebrate other people who have passed away, and you think about them at least once a year, and that's on Dia de los Muertos. You clean up their grave, you think about them, you bring their favorite foods. I just think that's pretty amazing.
Is it?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's great, because sometimes you don't think about the people who have left our lives.
Right. So each piece that you create is like a reminder of that.
Each piece, and I just, I got a fascination with it, and you could see from the beginning to where I am now how much the skulls have changed. Right. They've come a long way. And it's kind of like a tick now. They just keep coming out of my hands, like with the clay. I just keep making them.
And you seem to be gaining a lot in popularity.
I do. They're carried in a store in Alvera Street, and that's pretty exciting. Yeah, and people just somehow relate to the skulls. I don't know how or why, but they do. And each one is individually made and very different.
Are there any other places that people can currently see the artwork?
Right now it's Alvera Street, but I do show at the bar every 3 months. We have a big party, and I invite other artists to show, and we all show there. The bar where I work.
Okay, and the bar you work at
is the 35er in Old Town Pasadena.
Okay, so we just gave a plug-in, so hopefully
we
get something back from it. Free beers, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 if I'm working.
There you go. Now, another thing that you did, and you mentioned already, is that you mentioned the tacos. How did that come into play?
Thomas is a chef. He's been a chef for 15 years. We've been together 7 years. Technically, I've only seen him for 2 years since we stopped working and did the tacos because he worked all the time. So we decided he wanted to start living a little bit, and so we decided that he would, take a leave of absence and buy a taco cart and start making tacos, and it's been a hit for a year now.
All right. So, Tomas, what are we doing here?
Right now, we're going to make a little pico de gallo, also called salsa bandera.
Okay.
Got all the same colors of the Mexican flag, red, white, and green.
Wow.
Tomato, jalapenos, onions, and cilantro. So, yeah, just got to do a little quick dice, get everything together, all about uniform size. Make sure not to add the thumbs.
Now this is all from your years of working as a chef.
Yeah, it's it's gotta make sure you get your knife work is good, your skills are right, your speed is up. Make sure you can get your prep work done for when it's time to roll,
Right.
Get everybody crying for me. Cilantro? Yeah, it's what happens after years of being stuck in there, it's like the chef always on your ass, making sure you gotta. I remember the first chef I worked for, all he says is fast hands, don't worry about cutting your fingers, you got 10 more. You know, so let's get in there, get it done, and get on to the next thing, right?
Yeah, we're gonna. If he goes too fast, we're gonna have to check the table there for anything other than the food.
Cilantro in there. I'll go for some jalapeno real quick. Get a little heat in there, you know. Spicing it up. Not too much, you know. You don't want to get the seeds in there because then you'll be choking. But get just all the good stuff.
Right.
Seeds are good. Ready to go there. Get some limes going. Should be good. Give those a quick squeeze in there.
Very awesome.
And salt we got right behind me. Go ahead. Need a little of that olive oil.
Now with the olive oil, you
just get your favorite blend. You know, you just want add a little bit of olive oil, a couple chugs in there. You know, just to help bind it together.
Right.
Give it a quick toss. Smell that all the fresh cilantro coming out, the lime.
Oh yeah,
the jalapenos getting your nose, you know. And
yeah. Now these aren't your average tacos, right?
These are really good tacos. These are made by a chef, a trained chef. So they are. We've done taco crawls all around here and tasted every taco. None of them are as good as Thomas's.
Right.
It's a lot of love.
But today we're going to use Baja. Right. It's a sustainable product that I can find anytime, anywhere. I'm not harming anybody. And it's a great, it's no, we're just going to throw it here in the fryer. Okay. Got a nice beer batter on it right now.
Right.
Just give it a minute or two in the fryer. The tilapia, yeah, you know, tilapia is used a lot. And everybody's familiar, like, yeah, you know, I feel you kind of turn your head sometimes. And so when I found out, I found this Baja here and I was like, wow, this is really nice. It's really neutral. Doesn't, you know, have one flavor over another. It's just really nice and clean. You know, it's a great piece for to fry with. I think that should just about do it right there.
Now, along with the Baja, you also do shrimp and you do chicken as well.
Normally we do, for our Taco Tuesdays, we provide carne asada, chicken, al pastor, a vegetarian dish, and then also a chef special for the night.
Wow.
And then also on Fridays, we do a fish taco Friday, where I do fish tacos, shrimp tacos, and as you'll see shortly, we'll do some potato tacos as well.
So with the potato tacos, what exactly do we do with those?
What I did was I made some mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And then what I did was, when you have the cream for the mashed potatoes, I roasted off a bell pepper, a red bell pepper, removed the char, the skin from it. Then I pureed it in the cream, which I created a red bell pepper cream.
Okay.
So all you have that nice smoky kind of flavor to it. Just adds something a little bit different to the potato, you know, just a little bit of kick, no heat to it, just a nice flavor, you know. Takes about a minute or two. Don't want to overdo it. Yeah, these have been a really big hit. I wasn't sure how it was going to go over, and even a lot of the customers say, wow, I've never had the potato tacos before. Next thing I know, they're coming back, oh, I'll take two more, I'll take two more. Yeah, and then at the end of the night, they'll try one of each, and some of them will say, oh, the potato, it's amazing.
We're here at the food station, and Tomas is going to help us out, and I'm just looking at the presentation, which is outstanding. What have you been doing? What have you done before? I mean, I've told you.
Well, you know, yeah, like I said, I've worked in a few different restaurants all throughout LA. One of my most famous stops was at Staples Center. Right. You know, I got to cook for the Lakers, the Kings, the Clippers, making Kobe's breakfast whenever he needs it. You know, pancakes for Kobe is one of his favorites.
Now, you've also done the Grammys, I heard.
Oh yes, I've done about three or four stints at the Grammys, and
what did you make for them?
Oh man, all the backstage requests. That's what I was in charge of.
Oh, the backstage.
The backstage request, exactly.
Okay.
Just make it happen, as they say.
Well, let's see how we're going to.
Alrighty, so here we have our traditional Baja style tacos. We're going to first start off with a little fresh sliced cabbage. All right, a couple pieces of those right on top. All right, and a little crunchiness adds a little flavor. All right. Then from there, we're gonna go with our pico de gallo that you saw earlier. All right, nice fresh pico de gallo. Look at that. Wow, looks delicious, huh? Then we're gonna make we got a little crema here.
Okay.
Which is a little sour cream mayo mix right on top.
Dude, that looks awesome.
All right, then we'll finish off with a little salsa.
Wow.
All right. About a couple limes on the side. A couple cucumbers while you're eating, and enjoy your fish tacos. All right, we're going to switch off to our potato tacos.
Yeah.
All right, remove the toothpicks. That's why we use the big ones, so it's nice and easy.
Wow.
Okay. My nickname? Oh, no.
Mucho Cuco? What?
They called me Link.
Link?
Yes.
Why Link?
Because of these little sausage links you see right there. The chef said, get those sausage links out of that salmon one day. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm trying, chef. So we're just going to put a little Monterey Jack cheese in there. Like I said, I've got the red bell pepper, mashed potatoes in there.
Right.
Okay. And we're going to do the same as the fish taco. Just finish it off. Just a little bit of cabbage. Little crunch, little texture in there. Okay. Little crema.
You got two artists in the fam, dude.
You got your pico.
Not easy living with each other.
Okay, and your salsa.
Wow.
All right, and there you are.
Out freaking standing.
Potato and fish tacos.
Hamas, these tacos, the potato tacos, are out freaking standing. I mean, everything that you put in these things. I mean, the potato ones for vegetarians, they're just the bomb. They are the best, you know. And I think any vegetarian that jumps into those are going to be just going hog wild. They're awesome.
Awesome.
The fish ones with, what was the fish again?
That's a basa.
The basa, that is outstanding as well. Your presentation, outstanding. I would be so surprised that in the future I don't see you going someplace amazing. You know, you guys are bound to go and leaps and bounds.
I appreciate that. You know, we're just trying to, you know, we put our heart into it. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, and we just want to make people happy. Hopefully they enjoy the product, and you know, hopefully it speaks for itself.
Well, I'll tell you what, making what you make, you're going to make a lot of people happy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So now I actually get to see him.
Wow. Very cool.
And I still like him.
Now he's around more.
Yeah,
huh?
I like him even more.
Okay, so with the tacos going, the artwork going, working at the bar right now, you've got so many fingers into a lot of pies. where do you hopefully see yourself? Where do you think your future is going? Where do you want to see yourself in the future?
Well, our goal is to ultimately open a small taco stand / gallery, and we would love to have you come in for the tacos and stay for the art. Okay. And we haven't found the perfect location. Somewhere where we could see some water, right? An ocean, a lake, somewhere just paradise. But it's a little ways off. But that's what we're looking for.
So you're looking at eventually moving, because right now you do most of your stuff in Pasadena.
I do all of my events in Pasadena or in downtown, but yeah, I want to move closer to the shore. Not move, but just find our niche somewhere. We haven't found it. We see it sometimes, but we just haven't found what we want to do, the right spot yet. We're looking for it though.
Good afternoon. I'm here with Debbie Hernandez. Debbie's been a friend of mine for many years. We actually went to high school in 1983, and we went to school even longer than that.
Yeah, junior high school.
We were in junior high school together. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's when we first met. Mm-hmm. And we've been friends ever since.
Yep.
What did you go off and become after high school? What was your job or the idea of what you wanted to do?
Originally, I wanted to be a police officer.
Right.
I've always been involved or interested in law enforcement. And so I started to look at different agencies to see who was hiring for what. And I thought, well, let me see what else is in law enforcement. You know, maybe police officers, a little bit too big of a step for me. Right. I wanted to just kind of get my foot in the door and see what are my options. And that's how I fell into dispatching, which I love.
What keeps you motivated?
I want to help people when they call. I want them to know that we're going to help them. And it's challenging. Every phone call is different.
Right.
It could be anything from something small they need directions to a 911 they have a true emergency. So your mind is always thinking, you know, we go to training classes, we learn how to, you know, speak to the public, as far as getting them to give us information that we need, and also being sympathetic to what their problem is, that it may not be a 911 emergency to us, right, but it is to them when they call.
What would you like the general public to know when they call for your assistance?
We want to help resolve whatever problem that they're having, whether it's just general information or options to give them. That when we're asking questions, we're asking them for a reason, because we need to prioritize our call based on what the emergency is or what calls come through. We have to get information for officer safety to make sure we ask about, you know, weapons or anything that may be a potential hazard or danger to the officers. Asking also about people in the house. Mm-hmm. So just there's questions that we ask, and we're not just asking them, we're typing them into the computer directly, and that goes to the dispatcher that is working the radio, and all that information is going in, and she's putting it out to the officer. So even though you may be talking to a dispatcher, there's somebody else that's dispatching it.
Right.
Because the way we work, we have the phone person and the radio person. So I would be answering phones and taking all the information, typing it into the computer as I'm getting it, and it goes over to the dispatcher that starts putting it out to the units to start responding. So even though it seems like I'm not sending anyone because, you know, I'm asking all these questions, it's already moving. As soon as you called, you know, first thing we need is your address, because sometimes calls get disconnected for whatever reason, and if we don't know where you're at, we don't know where to send help.
Right.
So address obviously is the first thing to put out, if that's the only thing that you can get out. You know, we're trained to listen to the background that's going on in the phone call, you know, because sometimes people are saying one thing, but we can tell they're under duress based on how they're saying it. So then our question changes a little bit. We have a lot of, you know, we deal a lot with instincts, our own instincts. I've been doing it for 23 years. I've handled a lot of calls. There have been calls where the person could not speak freely in front of whoever they were talking around.
Right.
And we pick up on that the way they're talking, the tone that they're using, that something's not right.
Okay.
So getting out the address, is most important. And then we'll figure out whatever else type of questions that we need to ask you based on the information you're giving us.
How has your career choice affected your family?
It hasn't, I don't think, really affected my family life too much, other than the different shift work that we have to work. Law enforcement is 24 hours. We don't work 8 to 5 and go home and off on the weekends. There's somebody there 24 hours a day. It's changed me, I think, as far as I'm not as naive as I used to be. When I first started, I was 22 years old, 23 years old. And I thought once I went to sleep at night, everything just stopped until I woke up the next morning and then it was all great again. Well, no, that's not what happens.
Right.
So, it's changed me to where, I'm more aware of my surroundings. Mm-hmm. I see things differently. My friends always ask me, isn't it tiring to constantly be looking and being aware and noticing? And no, to me it's not. It's not tiring, because that's how I'm trained. That's what I'm trained to do, to pay attention, to, see things that are odd, personal safety, when you're walking, to carry, your head up, don't be looking down, and these are things that you learn based on, the types of calls that we get, what happened that this person was a victim, what can we learn from that? Right. And the big thing for me is be aware of your personal surrounding. When you're going into a parking structure, especially for women, just pay attention to what's around you, so that if you feel that something isn't right or somebody doesn't look right, don't go there. So that has changed me to where being naive and just, okay, go to bed, everything's fine, to now where it's like, no, you need to be aware of what's around you. Not so much that, I'm paranoid or anything like that. I just, right. For safety for myself, my son, and, when I'm out with family and friends, just to make sure that, I'm aware of what's happening. I don't, need to point out everything to them. But in case I see something that I need to report.
Now, I'm going to ask you a silly question. All right? Have you yourself ever dialed 911?
Yes, I have. Recently, a few weeks ago, my son he's 8, and he had an asthma attack. Okay. The worst one that he's had. And so I needed to dial 911 for that. And normally when we receive calls like that, parents are frantic because their child is, having problems breathing or anything related to a child. Parents get frantic. Mm-hmm. But because of my training, I know help is coming. So I know the questions that they're asking me is for a reason. Mm-hmm. So I'm very clear with my address, the nature of what my problem is, and answering their questions without saying, just get here. I know they're coming. But they need to ask me the questions to help my son. I was witness to it was a domestic dispute where there was a drive-by shooting that I saw. There was a prowler in my backyard. I need to report that.
Wow.
And again, it's to remain calm, give the dispatcher the location, because if they don't know where you're at, they can't send you the help.
What do you do to relax? What do you do to take your mind off of some of the situations that may occur while you're working? I
do scrapbooking. I
Nice.
enjoy scrapbooking. It's pictures and memories of good times that, with your friends and family. So I enjoy doing that. And it's not as easy to just throw pictures together. It takes time. Okay, so this is how it starts.
Okay.
So I take the general pictures and I'll put like a Post-it to remind me where it was, the date or whatever like that.
Right.
I put in a background picture and then I just start choosing the pictures I want to put on that. Mm-hmm. So like for example, this one, these are the pictures that'll go on here. And I'll put some other doodads around the picture so it's just not so plain. And then I just kind of lay them out whichever way I want them to lay out, of however way I want them. And then once I get it down, then I start to secure them. These are some of my completed pictures that I've done. And let's see. Like this one is Aiden's 3rd-year birthday. Okay. So it was a pirate theme. I baked the cakes.
Did you really?
I did. I took a cake decorating class so that I can make his cakes when he was little.
Outstanding.
So this is all the, obviously the pictures, then you put the embellishments and things to add to it to make the book pop.
Right.
So I have things like that. Things, like this. This is my dad's birthday. Right. So we've got other little things that make them pop. You can make little cutouts, for the balloons and put little sayings on them. Wow. Here I cut out little things like the Olympic rings. Aiden loves to swim. He's a little fish. So I thought that was cute to put Olympian in training.
Now, we both know you're not going to be able to do this job for a long period of time. So where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, my son will be 18. And I hope to be very close to retirement by then. And I want to travel, and vacations for me are very important because of the type of work I do. Right. And you need to, I don't want to say reward yourself, but you need to go and enjoy life, because we hear so much negative and we, hear about so much ugliness, that we need to know that there is good out there. There's memories to be made, people to meet, friends, good times and that sort of thing. So vacations for me, family getaways, are very important. So.